Or Alrighty, Tigers fans, how are we doing? We have a awesome Fan Friday episode in store for you guys today. We have Calum joining us. So yeah, let's welcome Calum in as he gets into the Zoom call. We're going to be talking all things West Tigers today. Hey, Calum, how you doing, mate? Oh, not quite in yet.
Hello.
Hey, Calum, how are you, mate?
Yeah, no, good. Good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so pumped that you could jump on here. Hey, well, yeah, like I said, thanks for jumping on NRL Deep Dive. If you want to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, where you are, and why you are a Tigers fan, and we'll go from there.
Sure. So I'm Calum. I've been a Tigers fan for maybe a suffering Tigers fan for maybe 12 years now. I've been supporting them since I was a little kid at school, and I didn't realize I'd be getting on this much of a journey just because I like Tigers, and live
Right.
in Sydney. So yeah.
That's awesome, mate. I love it. Who's your favorite West Tigers player if you had to choose one?
It's probably Appy currently. Love
Ooh.
Appy and what he does. And seeing that he re-signed just recently is a big step in the right direction for us, I think.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't agree with you more, mate. Like I woke, because obviously I'm in America, as a lot of people you know on this channel, and so I woke up to that news and I was like, oh my goodness, this is some of the best news I've heard all week, even on top of Isaac Tuatupo. So, yeah, walk me through how you're feeling about the re-signing of Appy. Obviously excited, but why do you think this is such a good step forward for us as a club?
I just think we usually have like some really solid players in the team, but I feel like we're an academy team and how easily we let some of these players go to the bigger clubs. I think of like
Mhm.
Teddy and Moses and all that sort of thing, and how frustrating it is to get attached to those sort of people and to see them go is yeah, it really sucks. So yeah, just seeing that what my favorite player's been re-signed is yeah, no, it's great, and I hope that people like Buller and Dewey, maybe we can lock them down and try and find a spot for them too.
Absolutely. Yeah, you said that Dewey, man. Like I on today's video actually I just recorded, we are talking about how the rumor is that we've offered them offered Dewey 350K, which is still a pretty penny, and then the
Mm.
Dragons have offered him 400, and then there's talk of Penrith trying to get in the mix as well. I mean, if you were Benji and Richo, what are you doing? Are you re-signing Dewey? If so, where's he playing? What's kind of the contract looking like? Fill me in what you would do if you were in their position.
I think he's earned the contract 100%. I think that he's moved around for us all season, and maybe we've found a spot in lock. Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't give him a contract at this point. And I'm not too familiar with like what everyone's worth and that sort of thing, but
Hmm.
I honestly think maybe 450K. Like I think that'd be a solid asking price for him.
Absolutely. I think that's super reasonable, especially like his loyalty that he's had to the club. And
Mm.
then, yeah, of course, we know that Jareem Buller is definitely up there in the air in terms of, I think I want to rephrase that. His management's up in the air, right? With Isaac
Yeah.
Moses. I think Jareem Buller obviously has some ties to the club with his wife being in the NRLW, things like that. Do you foresee Buller leaving the club at any point? I personally don't, but I always like to ask other Tigers fans.
I try and set up a little barrier between myself and any players that are associated with Moses, which is why I yeah, for because I heard Dewey's now like having Moses represent him or something like that at some point. And yeah, so that's why I can't say 100% Buller or Dewey are staying, and I'm kind of mentally preparing for them to go. But it will show like a massive difference, but if we can learn from our past mistakes and yeah, keep them on.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Buller's, I'm like 99.99% sure is managed by Isaac Moses. Dewey, though, actually recently came out and said, I'm not sure why that came about. I was just testing the waters kind of thing. I'm not managed by
Oh,
Moses. So if that's the case, if that's a true thing that he's stated, I personally haven't heard him in an interview say that, but I've seen a lot of sources of him saying that. Then I
mhm.
think we're off the hook there. It's just a matter of if Richo and Benji want to throw enough money and a good contract at him. So Let's hope for the best, Seb. But Dream Buller, I definitely think he knows better and knows that if he wants to be the best fullback in the NRL, which I believe he is on the trajectory to do that, West Tigers honestly sticking it out here is the place to be. I think we can easily see a premiership, you know, opening window, if you will, in the next 5 to 7 years. Like,
Mm.
I think that's something that we can definitely look forward to. In terms of our playing style, Callum, how have you been feeling as a fan this season? Kind of walk me through obviously from the start of the season when we had all those wins, then to our horrible losing streak, and then we've come back off on some wins recently. So how are you feeling overall as a fan this season?
I think seeing my little sister, it's her first season supporting the West Tigers. So I kind of have the same emotions as her.
Mm.
If you stick with me here, I have a magnetic NRL ladder on the fridge. Every week fix the placings so my little sister can see how the Tigers are
Oh,
doing in that. And
oh,
at the start of the season, the Tigers were, I think, maybe around that eighth, ninth position, and like we're doing pretty solid there. And yeah, no, I was happy. I was happy we had a few wins on the board, but yeah, no, then we started dropping off, and I thought we were in another wooden spoon race, and that really that I couldn't handle another wooden spoon this season, man. But yeah, we absolutely needed that win against the Titans because otherwise everyone would be blowing up. Benji would be having the hot
mm.
seat. It would be complete chaos. And even if we played like shit, we just needed those 2 points.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it wasn't a beautiful win, but we got it done. We got 2 points. It's one game closer to making finals. But yeah, like you said, we've had so much drama this season. I mean, everything just from media frenzies to obviously the man who shall remain nameless that moved over to the doggies. There's just been so much illness, injury, origin. Like there's just been non-stop, which is some things are good problems to have, but other things it's just horrible. So. Do you think our problem lies in our footy or in our kind of culture, news, frenzy type stuff that cause a lot of these losses and cause a little bit of dysfunction in our team?
I think it's both because you can't go a day without seeing some sort of piece against the Tigers. Like recently, I saw one about how three Tigers in Benji's top 17 had a meeting with, I think it was former Tigers owners or something like
Hmm.
that, and the names weren't released. But apparently, they weren't happy with Benji and Shane Richardson and that sort of thing.
Dang.
The most ridiculous one I saw was there was a whole piece about Luai secretly drinking a Coke at the press conference against the Titans. And there was a whole thing about, oh yeah, no, look, Luai's not taking it seriously. He's having a Coke instead of a Powerade. It's the Daily Mail, I guess. So
Right.
that's what to expect. But yeah, no, to answer your question, it probably does cause a bit of dysfunction. And seeing as Galvin was supposed to be a part of our spine and that sort of
Mm,
thing, it probably would have, yeah, affected us. I think we just need time, though.
definitely. What are your thoughts on Latu Fainu? I mean, Galvin out, Latu was the next best thing. Do you think he's killing it? Do you think that's the way you would have went, or do you much prefer Galvin being in the mix still? Or what are your thoughts on that whole thing and our half pairing now?
I don't think you're a Tigers fan if you want Galvin in the mix still. But
Amen, brother.
honestly, and I know it's easy to say once he's off, but I never thought like massively high of Galvin that everyone else was, if I'm
Hmm.
being honest. And I honestly see Fainu as having the same sort of potential as Galvin. He just seems a bit more, yeah, I don't know. I like what I'm seeing. Like I said, I just think he needs more experience and time with the team.
Absolutely. I mean, for the little footy that he's played this year, obviously due to injury, first his thumb, then his hamstring.
Mm.
And then, actually being paired with Luai, it's only been very little, but I am the same thing. I'm loving what I'm seeing. And I think the general consensus is it's like a mini Benji Marshall in the making, and I think that is super exciting for us to see, right? And then
Mm,
obviously we've signed, a few other players this season, extended a few. I think the biggest talking point definitely has to be Taylor May joining the club.
mm.
What were your thoughts with his game this past weekend against the Titans, and what do you think the future holds for us with him?
I'm a part of a few Tigers group chats and that sort of thing, and everyone was hyping up Taylor May. And I hadn't seen like really any of his footy, so I didn't know what to expect. But I did have some high expectations. He fully exceeded them against the Titans. He just seemed to make the right play
Mm.
every time. And I think behind Dewey, he was my man of the match. Yeah, he was great. And I think we have our center.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you said it so. I think we have our center. He's traditionally a winger from what I understand. So I've been saying on my channel, I think we're fine on wingers. I think we need a stronger center out there. And because I
Mm,
saw Adam Dewey playing that ball playing lock at some point, so I'm super pumped Benji went with that. But like you said, his ability to make plays, to finish plays, to pass the ball, to just run it like that ability and know-how is honestly something you can't really teach. He just has that
mm,
natural gift, kind of like his brother Terrell. Like, and it's so sick to have brothers, the Fayenu brothers, Laui brothers and now the May brothers, and hopefully we can get Tyrone May, but we'll see. Another signing we had, obviously, Kai Pierce-Paul for our forward pack. We had a real depth problem, and I think we kind of slightly do. And I'm glad Benji, extended Tony Suka, Charlie Murray, those blokes. But what are your thoughts
mm.
on Kai Pierce-Paul? Have you watched much of him, or are you kind of just waiting to see how he comes in and plays?
Well, I don't watch a lot of Newcastle Knights games if I'm being honest,
That's
but
all right.
when I saw the announcement that Kai Pearce-Porce was, oh jeez, that he was being signed, yeah, no, I started tuning into a couple of games and I like what I'm seeing, but yeah, I just got to wait till he's in uniform and I'm
Mm.
curious to see who he takes place of in the starting lineup.
Yeah, man. Who off the top of the dome? Who do you think it is?
I I don't know. Would it be maybe Seyfarth or Twal,
I
someone like that?
Yeah, I'm really yeah, I mean, I feel like Seyfarth has really stepped it up these last few games.
Mm,
But most of the season, I don't know if he's been on that level. Like, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like yeah, Seyfarth could be the guy that gets replaced or gets pushed to the bench for good reason.
mm,
But still, I mean, Seyfarth when he's on, dude, he is on. But yeah, it could be Twiley as well. I think it's
mm.
going to be one of those two, especially if we sign Adam Dewey in
Yeah.
that forward pack. Yeah, man, I don't know. It'll be super interesting to see, especially because we have Suka and Murray. But saying that, I think those two blokes still have a lot to learn in Cup, before they're like full 80-minute like footy stars in our forward pack. But that's just my opinion. Who do you think's been the biggest underdog for us this season?
As in someone that like has been solid but not appreciated, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Someone who, flies under the radar, but always just gives 110% no matter where we're at.
See, if it wasn't for the last game, I would have said Toa has been
Mm.
really solid all season, but he wasn't great against the Titans. Defensively, he was pretty poor. Honestly, I'm a big Dewey fan, and I don't think he
Hmm.
gets enough appreciation in the Tigers fan base. I see a lot of people giving him crap. I feel like it's similar to the Luke Brooks situation in
Yeah.
which everyone was just slinging at him, and I didn't really quite understand why. He's been everywhere for us this season, and I think defensively he's been really solid. Like
Hmm.
there's been a lot of times where he's been the one to make the crucial tackle. Yeah, I
Hmm.
think Dewey goes unappreciated, and I hope we re-sign him.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Like I'm with you on Dewey and Twiley, I think. I think
Mm,
he's kind of just shows up every game and for the most part gives his 100%, but still his attitude is always there. His loyalty is definitely always there.
for sure.
Benji even named him skipper there, and like that to me just speaks volume about just guys that go underappreciated in the media Benji sees them and he hears them and he appreciates them. So yeah, that's a question I always like to ask people is because everyone is different, but it's always cool just to hear everyone's different perspectives on that. Now, when you think of our last few games coming up, I think we have what, 5 or 6 games left of this season with a bye in there. What do you think is our biggest thing we have to focus on? We have to execute, either on attack, defense, whatever you think it is, in order to, finish above the wooden spoon and possibly even finish in the top 8.
I think, well, having the bye helps a lot to I guess we're out of the spoon race at this point, I'd like to say. But I think we've just got to be in it. I don't think we can turn up and expect a win. Historically, this season, whenever we've come off a win, we've had a pretty poor performance,
Mhm.
unfortunately. But yeah, I think what we've been doing the whole season, even though it hasn't translated to points, is for almost all our games we've put up a fight, and I've genuinely believed that we can win the game, and
Mm.
that's huge as a Tigers fan. So
Yeah.
honestly, if they can, I'm not a coach, so I can't give the exact offensive and defensive structures and that.
Mhm.
But if we can just stay in it, then I think, yeah, they'll go a long way.
Absolutely. I mean, old Tigers, man. Like even when you look at last year and the year before, the losses that we would have had would have been major upsets, right? I mean, other than really the Melbourne Storm game this year that I'll try not
Yeah.
to think about forever, but it's really been pretty freaking close, dude, when you think about it, right?
Mm.
Like it's been within one try, 2 tries even, or simple errors that cost us the game, which is, I think, our biggest weakness right now is our error making. We got to be better if we want to
Oh
see
yeah.
more consistency. And I think against the Titans, although we came away with the win, I think it could have been a huge blowout for them. I think we could have absolutely annihilated them at the hill, but the stupid errors that we kept making. So
Mm.
it's hard to kind of pinpoint things like you said, but at the same time, we also have seen a lot of growth where our losses have definitely marginally gotten smaller, but they still freaking sting. And so if you were Benji Marshall and we were down, I don't know, let's just say 2 tries at halftime against the Sea Eagles, you've got to give kind of a halftime speech or kind of couple words of wisdom, a couple lines of wisdom. What are you saying to the boys to get them pumped up to go out there and give it their all?
I think that that game that's coming up, I think that's a home game. So if I
Mm.
was Benji, I'd be talking about, all the fans that have come out. And I think that he gave this like a similar thing, reminding the players of all the fans that have turned up and that sort of thing. Because I remember the post-match interview, a lot of them were talking
Mm.
about, oh, we did it for the fans and
Mm.
that sort of thing. But I think, yeah, no, I'd go through the underdog tale and just say, everyone's doubting us, everyone's saying, we're not winning this game. Let's prove them wrong, sort of
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely. Yeah, kind of like light a fire in their butt in terms of, we are better than this. We can definitely come out. I love that, man. I absolutely love that.
Mm,
While we're on the topic of Benji, are you a Benji
yeah.
fan? Are you thinking he's the coach for us for the next couple of years, or are you like, you know what? I don't think Benji's the guy for the job. Be brutally honest.
I love Benji, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for what he's done as a player, and I just see that he's learning a lot as a coach. And I mean, if I know it's uh harder to say because of all the signings and that, but we are going up on wins each season,
Right.
so there is an improvement, and I just think he needs to be given the time, and I think just yeah, no, I'm fully on board for him unless I see that we're not developing in any way or we lose some of the key players that we should sign. I don't
Hmm.
see any reason why we let him go.
Exactly. I mean, on my channel, I've been partnering with Sam, the stat man, and he's been making graphs for me to go over with you guys because we are on paper going up. Like literally, the lines are moving up. We are making progress. It just doesn't look like it in person
Mm,
as much as, so it's always good to see visually where we're at. And I think ever since Benji stepped in, sure, the rebuild is going to be messy. Sure, it may have taken a little longer than expected, but at the end of the day, we are on the up and up now, and things are starting to work. And I mean, Benji Marshall is the GOAT, man. Like one of the best halves for the West Tigers in the NRL. I mean, dude invented the flick pass for goodness sake. Like this guy knows footy. It's this really bugs me when people say like he doesn't know how to play footy. It's like, dude, do you remember Benji in his prime? He only just stopped playing just recently these last few years. Like he
Wait, are
knows how
there
to play.
people? Sorry,
No.
sorry. Are there people saying he doesn't know how to play
Oh my
footy?
goodness. Yeah, dude, there's a whole Benji hate club out there. And I'm like, are you guys tripping?
Oh,
Like, you guys must
mate.
be high because Benji literally is the GOAT of like he is the GOAT when it comes to footy. He's like the Michael Jordan of NRL and he knows how to play and he knows the West Tigers. It's just wild to me that people even think that. But yeah, I'm all for Benji and I think Benji has copped so much hate this season and I think a lot of hate that's not even needed. Like the whole Adam Dewey, him smashing Adam Dewey or whatever, like that is so stupid. The fact that the media has to stir the pot like that, it just
Hmm.
proves to me that hey, Benji is doing something right and they're trying to stop that from happening, and that to me just really ticks me off. But anyway, what do you think is our biggest weakness? Is it our forward pack? Is it our back line? What do you think we do really well, and where do you think we need to grow on the field?
I think for a biggest weakness, I'd say we have a lack of leadership, if I'm being honest, or
Mm-hmm.
the leaders that are there aren't stepping up and doing a good enough job of I guess getting the boys together and cohesive in that. I just think of Luai, I think he needs more time, but he is a co-captain, but I don't even recognize him as a co-captain.
Mm-hmm.
I just think of Appy. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
he's doing a lot to talk to the other boys and that sort of thing. Obviously, I'm not in the dressing rooms or all that, but
Right.
yeah, I don't know. It just something seems off in terms of leadership, and I think we could do with having another leader in that squad.
Who do you think that other leader would be?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Who can the Tigers get?
Well,
I'm,
do you think there's anyone in the club now that could, lead the team from that perspective?
if I was to, I mean, I mean, in the documentary "Thrive to Survive,"
Mm,
I don't know if
yeah.
you've watched that,
Yeah, dude,
but
that's powerful.
yeah, no, it was a great series. But I think Taruva gets a lot of respect from the
Mm,
boys, and I think that he could be someone who really guides everyone or puts them in the right direction, sort of thing. So I think Taruva could step up actually.
dang. Dude, I didn't even think about that. That would actually be legit. Yeah, if I had to choose one, yeah, now that I think about it, it could be Taruva, Buller even. Buller would be one of those guys that would absolutely kill it as a leader. I think he's a very timid dude, but I think if you put him in a leadership role, he could really step it up. But I like the idea of Taruva being one of our skippers. Do you think that would take pressure off Jerome Luai to just play his best footy if he didn't have to, quote unquote, be the skipper with Appy?
I think, yeah, if you gave him time away from the captainship, it gives him time to really just gel into the squad and like
Hmm.
get his game right, I suppose. But I was gonna say Buller as well,
Hmm.
actually, but I thought he might have been a bit too young. But who knows? Yeah, I'd be willing to give either of them a shot.
Right. I mean, if age is just a number, right? If you know how to lead a team, if you have the respect from the team, I think Benji just goes for it, honestly. I mean, why the heck not? But that's just my
Mm,
opinion. And I was just, yeah, intrigued to hear who you would pick. And then just a couple fun closing questions for you.
mm.
If do you have kids, Callum?
No, no
No kids.
kids.
All right. Well, eventually, if you do decide to have kids or whatever you decide to do, if you had to choose one of our players to babysit your kids while you and your significant other went out, on a date night or whatever, who's watching your kids and why?
I think there's only one answer. I reckon it's got to be Twali. Have Twali
Plally.
babysit the kids. Yeah, I see him leading the chants in the locker room when we've finished off a win. He just seems like a fun guy, and yeah, he wouldn't have the house on fire. So yeah,
Yeah,
Twali would be my pick.
Absolutely, man. I would be all for that as well. Who's one player you would absolutely hate to lose this season, like to a signing thing or an injury?
I well, I guess Appy's out of the window. Like that's not an option now, so I'm
Hmm.
happy about that. If I, yeah, I'd hate to lose Dewey. I'd really hate to lose Dewey. I hope we can get something for him because just because of how versatile he is. Love to keep Dewey around.
Absolutely, mate. And then which current West Tigers player on our like top 30, let's say, do you think would win the Survivor? You know, the TV show The Survivor. Who do you think would win that?
Oh, I love Survivor.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, no, rest in peace to JLP being the host.
Mm,
But no, hmm, I think Appy could take it. He has the leadership and he'd be able to form everyone up. I don't think people would see him as a threat because he's not like massive
right.
physically and that. Yeah, I think he can sneak his way through and form a little group and make it.
That would be so sick. Now I want to see that. And then finally
I'd
for
be up
you,
for it.
mate. I know, right? Finally for you, mate. Um, let's say you were to go get a tattoo with a mate. Which West Tigers player are you getting tattooed on your, let's just say, your thigh? Which West Tigers player's face are you getting tattooed on your thigh?
It's Appy. It's gonna be Appy again. He's my favorite Tigers player. But yeah,
That's
no,
too
he's shown
funny.
loyalty to stick around till I think it's 2028.
Yeah,
So
dude.
yeah, he's our captain. He's my ride or die on the team. So yeah, it'd be Appy for sure.
Well, Appy, if you're watching this, mate, let's get that tattoo going, son. All right, Callum. Well, dude, thanks for so much for jumping on. Do you run like any social media or like businesses or anything that you want to shout out while you're on here?
I do work at a sports store where if you used a thing, you'd get 10% off. We sell anything NRL and AFL related. So if yeah, place is called the Supporter Store.
Oh,
Yeah, if you find me on Instagram, maybe send me a DM. I can give you 10% off.
there we go. How could people find you on Instagram, or is that something I can put in my description?
Yeah, if you just list it in the description, that should be good.
Sick. All right, West Tigers fans. Well, you heard it there first. If you want 10% off at the store that Callum works at for all your NRL, AFL gear, make sure you check out the description below. I'll be sure to link that. Well, Callum, man, if you don't have any questions for me, I'm going to close it up for us.
No, I just figured I'd say you've done a really great job making this channel and building a lot of optimistic Tigers fans because we a lot of us have been in the gutter. So watching you has been it's been good for my mental health and belief in the Tigers
Oh, well, mate, I appreciate that. I'll tell you right now, it is hard to be optimistic all the time, but I know at the end of the day, it does us so much better than just sitting in the pitch, right? So, Tigers
for
fans,
sure.
we are on the up and up. And like Callum said, we really do have a lot to be proud of. And, we are making things going forward. But yeah, Callum, thanks for tuning in, mate. And thanks for being such a good supporter of this channel. And I really appreciate this chat. So make sure we do it again, all right?
Yeah, too easy. Thanks for your
All right.
time.
All right. Take it easy. See ya.
Okay, see ya.